today I'm going to make some last minute Christmas gifts. What I'm going to make is some little journals made out of envelopes. So I have here some envelopes, and I have some paper. I have some other stuff that I am going to use in it, and they're going to be pretty simple journals. It's mostly going to be about the paper that's going in it, the cover, and probably put a nice closure on it, and not much else. So they're just going to be quick and simple little journals. Hi everyone. So today I am going to build two journals out of envelopes. So I'm going to need 4 envelopes, and I'm going to need a bunch of paper, which I have here. I have some tea-dyed paper, I have some ledger paper, and I have some tea-dyed with turmeric, some tea-dyed with paper artsy infusions, and some tea-dye with onion skins. Now, I also did a little bit of an experiment because I want to use some ads. And what I did was I wanted to be able to use the paper in my journal as a page. So I wanted to tea dye the back. Now the back looks decent. The front, however, looks terrible. It totally dissolved the ink, which I was expecting. It does look cool, but not for what I am intending. So then I did, this is on regular paper, 28-pound paper. Or maybe it's actually 32-pound paper. But this is on photo paper. I did the exact same thing. See? But nothing happened to the paper. So I think when I feel like I need to tea dye the back of a page, I think I need to use photo paper going forward and not regular copy paper like that. So this is 2 pages, they're identical. So I'm just going to cut them right here, and that way they're done. So the size of the journal is going to be about 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So yes, it's going to be a little journal. And the reason that I'm doing that is because 1, I want to do something different, and 2, I don't feel like making another big journal. So I'm going to make 2 journals with the standard 13 sheets of paper, and that means that it will be 52-page journal. That's back and front. So this, I'm going to have to cut this and make sure that it is going to be 4 1/4. Or is it a little smaller? I think it's a little smaller. That's better. So it's perfect. I can fold this in half. This will be my center fold. So this is going to be the center page. Right there. And I'll cut these off as well. I know I have a new cutter, but I really like this one. The new one doesn't have the center line. So when I'm cutting, I can't see where I'm cutting exactly. So it's very, very difficult to do for someone who doesn't measure. I usually just cut. I'll cut the journal toppers as well. I cut more than what I needed, or I printed more than what I needed, but that's okay. I will use them in a different way. And as you can tell, I'm still stuck in the 50s. I am just never getting out of that. It is kind of crazy. I'm starting to question my sanity at this point. So this is all Brandon Wheatking's ephemera. And these are souvenir programs for the year. And they are all from the 50s. And this one is actually from 47, 48. So even older. But that makes it very special to be able to do this. And I think I'll use scissors for this. So I have them all cut to 5 inches. So now I'm just going to fold them in half, and then I'll cut them to 3 7/8. And while I am folding this, you get a good view of what the pages look like. I think they are beautiful. This weekend, while you are watching this video, no, you're not going to watch this video on. So this upcoming weekend, I don't have anything to do. I am at my daughter's on Christmas Day, and after that, it's just me, myself, and I for a couple of days. And so what I want to do is make some, or I have to tea dye some paper for the 100-day project. So I am in full prep mode at the moment, making sure that while I am in the middle of the project, I don't have to make dye paper or anything like that. So I am trying to make sure that I have plenty. I thought I would, and I don't think I will. So I'm just going to do the better safe than sorry thing and make sure that there is plenty of paper. I'm also going to avocado dye, and I want to do something with the onions again, because seriously, this is just my favorite paper. So what better time to do that than when you don't have very much else going on. All right, let's cut these down to 3 7/8 of an inch. Okay, I've folded both signatures together. This one shifted a little bit. It's okay. I've cut them all to be the right size. Everything is done for the signatures. They just have to be bound now. So it's time to make the cover. And I want to have a 1/4 inch spine. I think a 1/4 inch would be plenty, wouldn't it? Let's make it a 1/2 inch spine. I'd rather have a little bit of play in the journal so that there's room that it can grow than not having enough. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I am going to measure out 1/2 inch from this fold line on both. So I'm just laying this on my grid mat here. And I don't have to measure in any different way than just by folding this up and over my ruler. here. So I'm laying this down so that it is straight, because, you know, it helps. And I'm cutting this at 1/2 inch. And I'm just folding this over. So now I am going to slide this one flap into the envelope up to that first fold line. And that is kind of how the journal is going to come together. Super simple, right? Like, any simpler is not possible. I am going to, however, do something with the glue part. I have some ledger paper. We're all accountants, so ledger paper would be fun. So I'm just cutting a little strip. Ugh. I tried. My cutter just isn't as sharp as it should be. But it's all good. Just going to disappear inside the envelope anyway. I'm just grabbing my glue. And I'm putting some glue right here on the flap. And then I'm just going to cut around. That's the only one I need to do it with, so that this can go in here and it's not going to mess with anything else. Now I do want to put something on the inside here as well, because otherwise it will look weird. And this should fit easily in here right now. So I was putting some glue on it. And the glue that I'm using, as always, is Aleene's Tacky Glue that I have diluted with a little bit of water. Okay. Oh, and I am making such a mess right now. But it's in. I'll just take the glue off there. There we go. Okay, so this is going to slide right in here. So, and this is going to fold over top. So I'm going to have to put some glue on the side of the flap and on the spine. but I'm going to start with the flap. And I'm going to open this up and slide it right in there. And I'm just following the lines on my board to make sure that it is straight. Perfect. No, not perfect. Right now, that is what it's going to be. So I'm just refolding some lines here, which is okay. It is straight and still it doesn't look straight, but it is. Let's put it this way. It is what it is. I can't change it now. I'm just sealing this up. And folding this over. When I close it, it looks straight. When it's like this. So they are fairly solid, and I want to leave the pockets open so that you can use them as pockets, obviously. So I'll do the exact same thing to the other ones, and that way we can move on. Okay, the next step is to bind the signatures in. So I'm going to do this as a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And what I did was I just took a piece of paper that is the same length as the signature, folded it in half lengthwise, folded it in half, or folded it in half, folded in half this way, and then I took about 1/2 inch from each side and folded it together so that it was nice and neat again. That gives me, at the crossroads, these spots to punch holes in the signatures. In the journal pieces, I am going to do it a little bit different. So I'm going to measure 1/4 inch on either side of the fold line. Because I know I have a 1/2 inch spine. So I'm going like that. And like that, and that is going to give me the part on the spine where I need to punch the holes. So I'm going to start with the signatures themselves, and they are fairly easy to punch into. I'm just laying this flat inside, grabbing my hole punch. taking my really icky punch and poking it through the holes so that it'll stay stuck there. And I'm doing the exact same thing with the other signature. So now I'm going to, I know that this is the top. So I'm going to fold right here. And right there. Just like that. I'm going to fold it back to the inside. There. And I'm laying this somewhat even in here. And I'm punching the holes. To move like that. That is not in the center. So it would work way better if I would actually clamp it in place. There we go. Much better. So now I'm going to take a piece of thread. I'm using wax thread. And then we're just going to bind the signatures into the journal. And we're going to make sure that they are in the right way. I'm just making sure everything is lined up how I want it. Maybe. I'm going in through the center, just like that. Going to the top hole and in through there again. There we go. And then I'm going to go all the way across to the next one. And that was way too easy. Then I'm holding this in my hand so that I'm not punching through the thread again. Oh, I need to go in this way. And of course, that's not going to go as easy as I want it to. It's going to come inside and then sometimes they just want to not be very cooperative. And then you just have to take a look and see where the problem is. And apparently there's no problem. It just went as it should. Okay, let me just double check to make sure that nothing has been punched through. because that really is not what I want. And it's not. It's perfect, actually. I'll say it again. That was way too easy. It's also much easier when you're not adding beads to the spine and anything too elaborate. Okay, I'm just pulling so that it is in there nice and tight. And then I'm making a knot and a second knot and an S knot. And I think in the travel journal it was very difficult to see, so I'm going to do it again. Let me zoom you all the way in to my fingers and I'll show you how to make an S knot. So I lift the top thread, I pull this thread through and making a loop. So this one is now on top again. So then I'm going to put this over like this, pull this thread up, pull it underneath, and then over top. And then we can just pull them like that. And there we go. There is an S knot. Now I'm just going to make sure that they're all nicely in place. So they seem to be playing a little bit and fanning out, but once I put a closure on there, it'll stay pretty nice and tight. That looks beautiful to me. Right now it just goes like that because that's what it wants to do, but because I put a nice spine on it, it is going to be staying very nicely like that. There we go. Two really cute little journals. So now I have to put some closures on them. And the Wheat King colors are black and gold. Now I'm not going to put a black ribbon on it, so I think I should put gold on it, but I don't know if I have gold ribbon. I have gold thread and I don't think that looks good, but I have yellow, so I think I am going to put some yellow plaid ribbon on it. And this is also the time where I need to decide how I want the closure to be attached. Go like that. Yeah, I like that. I wanted something different, and I think this is different. I like it. Okay, so let me just put it in place now, and then I'm going to put something on the back to keep the ribbon in place. I have some tea-dyed. That kind of looks neat. That looks cool. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Now let's make sure this is nice and straight. Yep. And then I am grabbing my glue. And I'm going to make sure that this is going to be very well attached, because I definitely don't want it to come off at all. So I'm going all the way around the edges first. And just a thin layer of glue all the way along. And a nice strip of glue right in the center where the ribbon is. And then I'm just going to lay it down right on here. Just like so. And then I'll open this up so I can go to the other side and make sure that everything is attached really nicely. Just like that. Perfect. So the next big decision is going to be which toppers am I going to use. And apparently that decision is going to be really easy if I don't remember where I put the toppers. Okay, so I have these. I think I may put the yellow ones on it. I think for some reason I like those the best. And then with the yellow bow on top, I think that'd be really cute. The other one that I was thinking was maybe this one. I like that one as well. And I also like this one. And I am actually thinking I want to go with these two older ones. I think that is much nicer. I'm just going to ink around it. And I'll glue this down. Just making sure the edges are not visible. So that it actually looks old and I like it a lot. Yeah. Okay. So I'll glue this down. And you see, I'm not rounding corners. I'm not doing anything. This is pretty straightforward. But I am using a lot of glue to make sure that everything stays attached very nicely. I am in love with these. They're so cute. I'm going to use my fast grab glue. I don't want to use the hot glue. So I'm going to lay this in there, and then from the center out, I'm just going to ruffle this up the same the other way. And then we've got a very pretty even ruffle on here out of vintage linen. I love using this. I think it is super pretty. And I'm going to put a little ribbon on it, I think. The colors now are black and yellow. So I think I have the yellow bow. So I think I want to put a black strip of ribbon along the ruffle, and that just finishes the ruffle up very nicely. I don't want to put bling on it or anything like that. So just using the Aleene's Fast Grab Tacky Glue. And a piece of black velvet ribbon. I love using the velvet ribbon. It's all in the texture, right? When someone puts their fingers over it and it feels nice. That's all that matters. All right, I think this is absolutely lovely. So simple, right? There's nothing like what I do with other journals that I have done to this one, but it does look super cute. How cute is that for a present? So simple, so easy to make. And it's just 2 envelopes. Okay. Let's cut another piece of velvet. Actually, let's put the glue on here first. Let's start with that. And then I'll just lay the velvet right into the glue. Push it down. And cut it to size. That was way easier. Okay, tie the ribbon. And there's number 2. I think they're so lovely. They have the weekend colors. And I'm going to say, ta-da! I hope you enjoyed this. You know, like I'm using something specific right now, but you could very easily do this with anything else. You can do this with a picture. You can do it with something that you're designing. You can do it with anything. So like, because really it is just a little journal with a topper on it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I am going to show you how I make avocado dye and dye paper. I am going to do tea dye again. I'm going to make the onion dye paper. There will be maybe some cabbage coming up as well, and a few other things that I have in mind, so that I have enough paper to work with for the 100-day project, which is starting January 1st. So if you hit the subscribe button, you'll be reminded every day that there will be a new video coming out. And I hope you'll join me on it. I hope you're going to watch what I am coming up with. I am pretty excited about it. I've been playing with this idea for a little while. So as opposed to in June, where I just jumped in with both feet and had no idea what to expect, I know what's coming. I know I'm prepared, and I am really looking forward to it. For now, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful Christmas. I wish you all the best and a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on Saturday.